Hello guys, my name is Tom Antos, and in this video I wanted to show you 5 ways that you can quickly fix up and just basically make your audio sound better in your videos. This can be done pretty much in any editing software these days, whether it's Sony Vegas, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, or in this case I'm going to be using Adobe Premiere. And that's because most of these programs are going to have the same basic audio tools that I'll be using. As an example, I'm going to be actually working on this recent review that I did of the Laowa 9mm lens. It's a great lens, I think, and it's again, it's a good example because it kind of shows you these kind of very common problems you're going to have when you're recording your audio in your videos. So let's jump here into Premiere, and basically the audio that I'm going to be working on is here the shot of me talking. So here's the shot you can see here, and this was recorded in my home studio, and it was recorded on the Ursa Mini Pro with the Deity aperture shotgun microphone. So great microphone, nice camera with good preamp. So you definitely want to start off with good gear, so whether a good audio recorder and a good microphone. But even then, sometimes the location itself might give you problems. So, like I said, this was recorded in my home studio, but unfortunately I had some noise outside the window, the AC, and some vents going, so you're going to hear some little hissing sounds. Plus, I also had some other sounds. So here, maybe I'll play the audio so you guys can hear it. And this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm. So as you can hear there was definitely some footsteps that you could hear, and that's because right above me there, on one floor above, there were some people walking around and making some noise every so on. So things like that will happen, and thank God these days you can fix a lot of it, or at least minimize some of these problems very quickly here in your editing software. So the first thing I'm gonna do is because basically pretty much anytime I'm working, especially with like vocals, like in this case, just me sitting there talking, is I want to make sure that the audio levels are in the correct range. So let's play the audio again. Millimeter f2.8, 0 or near 0 distortion wide angle lens. And just look here to the right. Like I said, using this on further jobs and things like that. So I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes when I was speaking a bit louder, the audio would like go up to -6 here, and sometimes it was here like -10, -15. It was kind of all over the place, and you definitely want to, especially when it comes to vocals, you want the range to be as close as possible. Can be like here to basically I would say -3. You definitely don't want to go over 0. So if these bars ever turn red, that's again that's bad. So you want to go basically around there -3, but you don't ever want it also to go too low, because then people who are listening on different kinds of headphones or speakers, they might not be able to hear it very well. So you want the kind of the vocals to be in that range. The best way to do that is to apply a simple effect called multi-band compressor. So I'm just going to drag it here onto my audio, which in Premiere, again, you can find it in your effects panel under audio effects, and it's called multi-band compressor. Once you apply it here to your audio clip, here in the effects controls, I'm going to click here to edit, and I can see just got all my controls for it. So you can go in here and manually adjust all these settings, but Premiere actually has all these cool presets for you. So they have one here even called Walkie Talkie. If I play it now, you're going to hear how the audio sounds. 0 or near 0 distortion wide angle lens. I'm going to be definitely, like I said, using this on first. So sounds kind of cool, like a walkie-talkie. You can change it here. They have different things. Toy, indie, lo-fi, hiss reduction, like all that stuff. Enhance the low or highs of your thing audio. What I usually use when it's just dialogue, somebody talking, is broadcast. So I'll click on that and play the audio again. Further jobs and things like that. So if you watch my videos, just stay on the lookout and see if you can spot. So now you definitely can see that it's kind of staying around -3 the audio. And basically what a compressor does is kind of like the name suggests, it takes the lower kind of levels of your audio, and then the ones that might be really high, and kind of compresses them together to be in one range. And you can control the overall final effect by taking the output gain here and you can adjust, you know, make it up or make it go up or down. In this case, I think the audio is pretty good, but let's say if I wanted the overall let's say my vocals to be still lower, then let's say we go -9 or something, you know, there -9, -12, then I can again play it, and while it's playing, I can adjust here the slider. But some of these other crazy wide angle shots I'm going to be getting with this on my future videos. Anyways, that's it. So as you can see now I adjusted it where it kind of goes a little bit lower. So I just, you know, pulled the gain down by 5 dB. Like I said, in my case, I'm just gonna leave it at 0 for now. It sounds pretty good there. And the next thing I want to do is I want to definitely fix some of those problems there with the audio. So let's play this section here where you could hear the footsteps. And now, because we have the compressor applied, you're basically gonna be able to hear a lot of those other sounds a lot better, because it takes all the quiet sounds and all the really loud sounds and kind of compresses them in one range. So they're all more or less the same volume. It's Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the... So you could definitely hear the footsteps now pretty loudly there. Now, one way that you can kind of, you know, do this is you can sort of analyze the audio. There's different tools and different programs will have different ways of doing it. If you really want to like master your audio, I would say you probably want to go into Adobe Audition. That's a program that just has a lot more advanced audio features. And where it also will allow you to analyze audio a lot better. But in right here in Adobe Premiere, I can, for example, take the parametric equalizer, which kind of lets you adjust the frequency. So I'll drag and drop it there. I can take here, click Edit, and I can just play it now. You see, right now we have no effects done on it. The presets is just set to default. But if I play the audio now, you're going to be able to kind of see how the frequencies respond in here. Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near zero distortion wide angle lens. I'm going to be definitely, like I said, using this. So if you kind of pay attention, first of all, you'll notice that most of my audio, or like the vocals, and that's usually the range the vocals are going to be in, it's somewhere between here like this. I would say almost like here 200 hertz. So you can see here on the bottom it shows you the hertz. So here 200 to like around 1000 hertz. That's like the majority of basically the ups and downs. You can see the frequencies are of me talking. Everything else is kind of staying static. So meaning the really highs are right here, the really high frequencies, like, you know, above 10,000 are like right here. And then the really low frequencies under 100 hertz are going to be right here. And they don't really change much. Now, when I play this part of the clip where you hear the footsteps, let's see where that part of the audio is. It's Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa. So I don't know if you saw this, but basically it's in this section somewhere right here, kind of between, you know, 40 to like 100 hertz. That's where you could hear those footsteps. It's because it was, like I said, on another floor and it was far away. So it just basically, you're just picking up these very low kind of bassy sounds there. So one way that you can do this is you can basically just minimize the levels here on these really low frequencies. And you can actually do this right here in Parametric Equalizer. You can just drag these levels down. But an even quicker way is to apply what's known as a high-pass filter. A high-pass filter, like the name suggests, lets basically only the high frequencies pass, while the lower frequencies are going to get cut off. So like I said, we want to kind of cut off, I would say, my audio doesn't really start till like around 200 hertz, so probably maybe 100, maybe somewhere between there, maybe 150 hertz should be good. So I'm going to take the high-pass filter, apply it, and now here in the high-pass filter, I'm going to, let's turn off maybe this parametric equalizer so it's not messing up our settings. Or actually, no, we can leave it because yeah, there's nothing being done there right now. And the high-pass filter, you can see the cutoff point. And right now, it's really high, like over 1000 basically hertz. So if I play this, it's really going to change the way I sound. Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8. And now I'm going to turn this off and see what happens here. Wide-angle lens. I'm going to be definitely, like I said, using this. So as you can see, it's cutting off, you know, around 1500 hertz, so somewhere around here, the frequencies. All these other frequencies are basically being erased. So like I said, it's because of that it makes my audio sound very kind of tinny. So what I'm going to do this is I'm just going to change it. So let's just go to 150, for example, hertz, because like I said, somewhere here is where I want to cut it off the audio. And now let's play it. And let's enable this. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8. So definitely it sounds better when it comes to the footsteps upstairs. So I don't know, now maybe here I'm going to kind of do this in and out point, so you guys I can just kind of loop this section and here, and I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to play one time here with the high pass filter applied, so just so you can hear it, and then after that I'm going to turn it off, and you can hear the difference of when the effect is turned off. And this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of. So definitely it's, you can hear it with the high pass filter, those low frequencies are being nicely cut off. You could even, like if you wanted to, you could just kind of play this, and in real time you can adjust basically the cutoff point if you want to really hear, if you're nailing it basically and you're cutting it off, because like I said, you don't want to cut off too much because then you're going to cut off your actual vocals. But at the same time, you want to cut out as much of those low frequencies as possible to get rid of that kind of far away, those footstep sounds. So I'm going to enable this and loop it and just and kind of play around here with the frequency cutoff. Kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the So I think there it's pretty good. You can barely hear anything now because, like I said, most of the low frequency sounds of the footsteps have been cut off. So I think 160 hertz is good, and it doesn't really alter my audio too much. So I think, yeah, like I said, this is a good way of doing it. So, nicely, you could say now we cleaned up the lower kind of frequency of sound. Now let's play here the rest of the audio and just listen to for any other things we can do to this. Laowa 9mm f2.8. So right now I'm noticing that you can see actually the meters are going above 0. Basically they're too hot. So I'm going to go back to our multi-band compressor, and here I'm just going to adjust the gain to maybe -2. So let's play it again. 0.8, 0 or near 0 distortion wide angle lens. So that's pretty good. So again, we just lowered it in the overall multi-band compressor. Yeah, let's just have a listen again. I'm going to be definitely, like I said, using this on further jobs and things like that. So I think the audio is pretty good. There is, like I said, this tiny bit of a hiss, which when I actually released the video, I didn't notice it. Afterwards, some people kind of, brought my attention to it and told me to that they heard some hissing there in the video. So one way you can do that though is and that's simply because, again, I know this already. Usually those kind of hissing sounds are going to be higher frequencies, but if you wanted to, you can just click here and again watch what's happening in the parametric equalizer or near 0 distortion wide angle lens. I'm going to be definitely like I said, pretty much whenever I'm talking, it's kind of here, like maximum goes up to like 1500, 2000, like there hertz. So and above anything, like I notice above 3000 hertz, there's really nothing there. It's just this basically noise floor. So I'm going to go and now apply another effect called the low pass filter, and again it's pretty much the same as high pass. It's just the difference is you're only passing in certain frequencies below whatever your cutoff point is. So effectively now what we're going to do is, with the high pass filter we're cutting off the really low frequencies. With the low pass filter we're going to cut off all these really high frequency sounds where the hissing is. So drag and drop that effect on there, and again, low pass and high pass, those are effects that you can find in pretty much any editing program. So right now it's set to 1500, which I think is too low, but let's have a listen. Like I said, using this on further jobs. Definitely cuts off those nice kind of higher frequency sounds, so I sound like I'm somewhere far away in like a room, like behind a door or something. Which is, if that's the effect that you want, now you know how to achieve that. But definitely I want to raise that, and like I said, I would probably raise it around 3000. Let's try that. And now let's play it. And things like that. So if you watch my videos, just stay on the lookout. And I still hear that it's kind of cutting into my vocals. So maybe I'll go to 4000. Let's try that. And that's kind of what you do, is you kind of, adjust the settings and you just play with it and until it sounds good. See if you can spot some of these other crazy wide angle shots I'm going to be getting with this on my future videos. Anyways, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Bye. So I think it's pretty good. Let's maybe now loop this section here, maybe a little bit longer. So I can just kind of have it playing while I kind of tweak, what's the cutoff point up here. Of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm. So I think 6,000 hertz is just right. It doesn't really cut into my vocals, but you definitely, if you hear it, it depends again on what kind of speakers you're listening on this video on, or headphones. If you have good ones, you're gonna hear that tiny bit of this hissing there. And with the low pass filter now set at 6,000 hertz, we're cutting off all those high frequency sounds with the hisses. So it sounds a lot better now. So now let's have a listen to it again and just kind of see how here, if I turn off all my effects, so the multi-band compressor, the high pass filter and low pass filter, how it sounds. And this has been kind of a quick overview of the Now I'm going to turn on the multi-band compressor and listen to that section again. This has been kind of a quick overview of so that definitely adjusted our audio levels. And now I'm going to turn on the high pass and low pass filters so that you cut off any of those low rumble and kind of, let's see if you have wind sounds. That's again usually going to be in the low rumble frequencies, or in this case, the footsteps above me, and also the high frequency hiss. And this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. And there, it sounds pretty good. So you can see very quickly, you can kind of master and get to make sure the levels of your audio are good, and you just get rid of the kind of sounds that you don't want. Now, another actually very common question I get is, what about when I'm adding music? A lot of times people have problems when they add music, or even, let's say, background sound effects. Like there was a question I had once where somebody submitted a work in progress film they were doing, which had basically it was a war scene, a lot of explosions and things like that in the back, but they still wanted to be able to hear what the actors were saying, over all the action. So whether it's music or something like that, once you put it in here, you want to kind of make sure that your music or your background sound effects or whatever it is that you're putting over your dialogue doesn't go into the same frequencies as the dialogue. And we already know from looking at our EQ that the dialogue is basically usually in the range of, what is it going to be, like 150 there to 1000 hertz. It's obviously going to vary depending on what person, whether their voice is really high pitched or low pitched, that kind of stuff. But that's one quick way of you can kind of diagnose the audio, and you can just basically make sure that whatever the background music or sound effects are, that they don't kind of cut into the same frequency, because you don't want to have too many sounds in the same frequencies, or else they're kind of competing for attention. And actually, maybe one quick other thing I can show you, and even right here with the parametric equalizer. So here on our audio track. So let me maybe disable the music, mute that for now. And if I take this audio track and with the parametric equalizer, another cool thing you can do here is you can adjust the frequency. So I can, for example, adjust the frequencies, in certain ranges and kind of bring them up while lowering others to, again, make the vocals sound better. Now in Adobe Premiere, you actually have different presets like I showed you, and one is actually called Vocal Enhancer. So if I click this, you see what's happening. They're kind of cutting off everything here that's really low. But around here, 100 hertz, it kind of goes up. Then it goes down, this kind of range between 100 and like 300 hertz goes down that range. But then it goes up again for those mid frequencies, and then the high frequency really goes up. So let's, again, just kind of play this and hear how it sounds with it on and then off. I'm going to just cycle through it. This has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near zero distortion. So I think, I mean, it's in this case, because we already cleaned up the audio pretty well, it's making a bit of a difference, not much, but you're definitely going to hear this better, you know, depending again on somebody's, you know, who, for example, has very low frequency sounds or really high frequencies only in their voice. So again, it's going to very differ, and then by applying the equalizer or adjusting the different the levels of these different frequencies, you can really kind of make the sound of the person's dialogue sound a lot fuller. So we're kind of you can hear the bassy sounds, you can hear the high pitched sounds well, and that, you know, that's another very cool kind of a quick effect that you can apply. It's called the vocal enhancer. Now, once I bring music into this, so I'm going to unmute this track and play it. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9. You definitely can hear the music, but at the same time, the music, like I said, is kind of fighting with the vocals, and you can't really hear me talking that well. So I'm going to go here into Audio Clip Mixer, and here, if I just play it again, just kind of watch what's happening. So my audio 1 is my dialogue, audio 3 here is the music. Millimeter f2.8 0 or near 0. So I have this actually set to -7 already. If I were to play it at 0, for example, you know, that's going to be definitely too loud, the music. Distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of... And you can see they're together. Once it's getting mixed with my dialogue, it's together overall the final mix, because this is the master levels here, it's going above 0. So definitely the first thing you want to do is you want to overall adjust the volume. Now, I'm going to keep on lowering this volume until, first of all, we're not going into here, into, you know, above 0 in the final mix, but also so until I can hear my voice well, you know, and I can still hear the music. So let me just play it and kind of adjust the slider here. I have a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near 0 distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 0 or near 0 distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8. So I would say, you know, in order to hear my audio still, my talking clearly, so it's not distracting, you would have to lower the music quite a bit, like -16 dB, which in this case, the music is very faint, and it might sound okay when you have, let's say, a good pair of headphones. But let's say you're watching this video on a cell phone with, like, you know, these really bad speakers or some, you know, iPod or something, then, you know, and especially if it's like a little noisy in the room, then you're barely going to be able to hear the music. It's pretty much, you will not hear the music. You're probably just going to hear my talking. So again, I'm going to just play this to you and just so you can hear it. This has been kind of a quick overview of the... So in case, let's say you do want the music to be fairly loud, you just don't want it to be kind of, like I said, mudding the frequencies where the vocals are. Again, a very quick way of doing that is to apply the parametric equalizer. So we're going here. And actually, you know what? I'm going to show you how to do it in parametric equalizer, but there's another even quicker way of doing it in Adobe Premiere. So parametric equalizer, here it is. Just drag it here and go to our effects controls, and I'm just gonna again press the edit button, and I want to basically lower the volume of just this music track in just this range here, right? Like somewhere between like 150 to like, well, definitely like I would say maybe 1500 hertz. So somewhere in this range I want to lower the frequency of the sound. So I'm basically just gonna take this point number 2, and I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to also expand it here so it doesn't kind of nicely, you know, fades off. This kind of, it's not so sudden. So somewhere there. And then I'm going to also lower here point number 3. And I will probably want to lower it like maybe here's your dB value. So probably like minus, I would say 20 maybe, I think is sufficient. And so here we're going to, oh, there's some thunder outside. The weather turned for bad, so hopefully you guys don't hear it too much in this tutorial, but if anything I might have to, well, I don't know if I can fix the audio in this tutorial itself because I'm recording it live. But anyways, here it is. All right, like this. So you see basically what's happening now is in the frequencies of the music, in the lows I'm not really doing anything, in the highs I'm not doing anything bad, and I can kind of bring this in a bit higher. But in this range here, 1000 to like, you know, 100, I'm definitely basically just lowering those frequencies. So let me actually reset that and maybe kind of fade it off a little bit quicker. So maybe set this to 1. The same thing with this one here, somewhere there. And we're lowering the audio by basically 20 dB in just those frequencies. So now let's play it. This has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 So now it's definitely not competing with my, the music with my vocals, but that's because the overall volume of that track has been really lowered. So let's now increase the volume, because like I said, I did want the final track to be nice and loud, like the music. I just don't, want to still be able to hear what I'm saying. So here I'm going to play it and adjust the volume in real time. Near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick... So I think that's pretty good. Maybe I can kind of lower it, maybe the effect a little bit, so it's maybe kind of somewhere there, maybe around like minus 15 dB, and not cut off as many of the frequencies, so maybe somewhere there. And play it again. Overview of the Laowa 9mm f2. So now you can still hear the nice bass, like that, those drums in the song, and you can also hear the guitar in the higher frequency sounds. But maybe I'm gonna bring back a little bit more of those higher frequencies here, above 1000, and maybe cut off a bit more of just the bassy kind of the drums. 2.80 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and I think it sounds pretty good. I'm gonna now again just cycle it and play it with the effect here applied to the music and with the effect turned off, so you can just kind of hear the difference. So here it is with it applied. A quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick... As you can hear, with it applied, you can still hear the music, but it's just, like I said, it doesn't compete with the vocals as much. I would even say we can maybe like increase the volume a bit in that range, closer to like minus 10. So somewhere there, and let's see how that sounds. Overview of the Laowa 9mm f2.8 or near zero. Now I'm going to turn that off, and we'll hear how it sounds without the effect. Distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the... With it on, you definitely can hear that it's, the music is nice and loud, but again, like I said, it doesn't compete with my vocals. You can still also hear me talking. So that's another effect. Now, if you want to do this quickly and you're in Premiere, then you can even do it without using parametric equalizer. You can, here, I'm going to turn it off. You can apply here what they have as an effect called mastering. Just drag it here. And they even have a preset for it. So if I go edit, right here, I can go make room for vocals. So I basically will cut off the frequencies that are commonly, where most of the vocals are going to be in. So you can see again in that same kind of similar range, like around 1000, what is it, 2000 hertz. So you can adjust this point still. But now I'm going to play it. You can hear how it sounds, and then I can adjust it, and this thing is decreasing it by minus 5 dB. So maybe I'll pull it down even more. So anyways, I'm going to play it and kind of adjust this point. 9mm f2.8 or near zero distortion. My name is Tom Antos, and this has been kind of a quick overview of the Laowa 9mm f. So in my case, like I said, I kind of wanted to lower the music's those frequency basically by around 10 dB, and the volume, and then the frequencies, as you can see, I adjusted it so it's not so much in 2000 hertz, but closer to around 1000 hertz, and it works. And that's a quick, preset. And you can also, once you make these adjustments, like let's say you're going to be applying this effect, and this is the kind of, let's say, you're always doing this, similar audio work, you can even save this as your own custom preset, so you can add it in there. But yeah, mastering is another quick, nice effect. So mastering with this nice little preset is one effect. Another effect is definitely the parametric equalizer. You can do a lot of cool things with it, like enhance the vocals or make room for vocals. Let's say if you're applying it to your music or background sound effects. Low pass filter, remember, you're just passing only the lower frequency, so you're cutting off anything that's above a certain range. High pass, you're doing the reverse, only passing the high frequencies, cutting off the really low frequencies at a certain range. And then a multi-band compressor to kind of nicely compress and adjust the audio levels of the really high and really low sound, so it all nicely sounds, and it's basically, but you can be well heard on all the speakers. So anyways, this has been the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you are already subscribed but you want to be notified of every video that I do, then make sure to hit that notification bell icon next to the subscription button. Otherwise, YouTube will not actually notify you of any of the videos that I'm uploading, which is kind of weird. But anyways, do that. And also, yeah, let me know what you like about this video, or maybe what other tutorials you'd like me to show you, kind of my workflow, suggestions, things like that. As always, you can find more information, whether it's about this topic or other things, on my website, which is tomantosfilms.com. I have a ton of websites and ton of tutorials there on my website. And also a lot of equipment reviews and things like that. So pretty much anything that's filmmaking related, you'll find it at tomantosfilms.com. So gear reviews, filmmaking tutorials. I even have some free downloads, cool presets and things like that. Lots that you can get there, plus some paid ones if you want to help support this channel. And otherwise, that's it for this video. Again, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.